Okay, so I just finished off the third video, and that the video itself wasn't tough, but the time between my first video, the last video I made yesterday morning versus now in the evening, today evening, there was a period, I don't know, of maybe 30 something hours. That was tough. I went through a lot of self-criticism and judgment, and it's not even that. It was the feeling inside that was coming up. What I found was that me having this level of awareness in what I was doing, my body wasn't normally, that my like survival portion of me wasn't able to really find an avenue to hook up and distract me and just pull me out of there. I was able to be like, aha, here it is acting up on this. I know what it's doing. Aha, it's doing this, it's doing this, it's doing this. But this one area that it found, and I talked about it in the video I just created, was around obsessions. And all of a sudden, when I was posting my videos, I briefly looked at my views, and there was like negligible amount of views. There was barely any views on them. And all of a sudden, my body just channeled all this energy into, oh my God, why don't you have any views? You're never going to make it. This is never going to work, blah, 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 blah. And the reason why I believe this was available for my body to kind of come in there and grab onto this and pull it is because before, in my past, I used to worry so much about views and how I was showing up on social media and how I looked and all that stuff. And it was the performer side of me. And that was a huge part of my life because I was trying to cover up for deep internal low self-worth and insecurities and other kinds of insecurities that I had. So it was interesting to see how, despite all the work that I've done, even though my care factor, if I can even call it that, the care factor for views is actually very low right now. And logically understand that this is step 3 or 4 of the process. Not right now. My step currently right now is to create 10 videos and to just get into the habit and just start understanding what is this flow like, what does it take, what does it look like to create videos and get comfortable on them. Despite knowing that, and despite seeing that, there is still part of me that hasn't really fully healed from that drive to, I need more views, I need more this. And so my body found it, and when it found it, it just unleashed a lot of what I call a lot of negative energy towards that and trying to shut me down. And I felt like crap for hours. I really did. Even though I attempted to meditate, I attempted to do all kinds of things, and it was just shutting me right off. It said no deal. So I remember coming home after work, and I was just so down. And I know for myself, one aspect of like, I have so much built up energy right now. What do? I can't really, I can't dig down into the mind. I'm so uneasy. So I went off for a run. And by running, I'm actually moving the energy through, and running's by moving the energy through my body and out of my body, I find that its influence reduced quite a bit. And after the run, I really had a clear mind. I sat down, I meditated and stretched and did a bunch of yoga. And it felt amazing, but I still had a lot of that fear. This morning, I slept on it. And then this morning I engaged in yoga again, and it was a fantastic yoga workout. And I had a much clearer sense in my mind and everything. And I got the ideas for the videos, and I kind of refined them over the course of the day. And then at the end of the day here, I had a challenge of like, oh, well, it was a long work day. I'm catching up with a friend shortly after. I've only got a small window to eat or do whatever. I could see the excuses coming in. I could see exactly what was happening. And I just clicked record and said, let's do this thing anyway. So what I'm finding is that it's not the actual videos that are scaring me. It's not actually that. It is the act of actually doing it is what's coming up. And logically, it's not really making that much sense, but emotionally it is. And I found that it's a beneficial thing. It's that part of me is not evil, it's not bad, it's not this. It's just trying to keep me safe. I've been hurt a lot of times before, and I didn't have the tools to protect myself in this. And this is something that exposes a lot of vulnerability. This is something that exposes a side of you that you don't normally share with others, let alone on YouTube, and let alone that it has the potential to be seen by many people. And so yeah, it's interesting to go through it. Now that I finished the video, like, I feel indifferent, to be honest. And all of those previous emotions and thoughts and beliefs are just barely existent in my body, if even that. I could tap in and try and remember it, and I'm like, barely even that. And it was interesting to listen to it. It's like, okay, you're trying to keep me safe. You're trying to keep me this. I understand that. Thank you for that. I thank that part of me. And it loses its drive. And it was nice to be able to say, okay, now that you're not as like crazy up in my face, can you sit down on the passenger side and let me continue driving the car? Because I'm in the driver's seat. The self is in the driver's seat, not you. You can tell me about things, you can point at things and warn me about them, but I don't need you jumping in the driver's seat and then taking the steering wheel and then just going crazy. So really cool experience. And leave it off from there. So future Mothernet, I really am interested in seeing how you go about this and how you actually move forward with it. And I'm thinking that you'll probably be a lot more effective, a lot more efficient in being able to allow these feelings and sensations to come up, and for you to be able to process them and be able to establish a much more significant and fruitful relationship with those parts. And so that they feel heard, and when they feel heard, I know that their power is going to be significantly more reduced, and then you are more complete and whole yourself, and you're more in alignment. So I'm excited to see it go from kind of knowledge to embodiment and actually being where you're at. So there you go. With that, peace.